Okay, good morning, everyone. Glad you're here today. I have a couple announcements that need to be made and some updates on some things. Pastor's not here because he fell into a hole or twisted his ankle, so that's why I'm here. Jerry's not here because he had open heart surgery or going to have open heart surgery, so he's going to have that, so he's not here. And the song director he had a wedding to go to, and the person that backs him up is Jerry over there, and he's sick. So I'm playing three places today. Did Sunday school already. Now it's time for leading the music, which we've gone over the music. I had to change one thing I didn't know. I thought I knew the song, but I didn't really know it as much as I wanted to know it. So take your hymn book and turn to page 411. This is the one I changed. This is 411 on the first song. official offer collector, come forward. Well,
Yeah, we're doing the song, right?
yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
450?
450, yeah.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, I thank you for this morning. I pray for everybody that couldn't make it. I know circumstances as they are, we're winging it this morning, and I thank you just for being here, letting us have a place to come and worship you, Lord. I pray for Jeff as he brings this message. Pray that you be with him, bring the Holy Spirit in this place. Let us all learn about you, Lord, this morning. I pray that the offering that we're about to collect, Lord, you be with it, and every dollar that's spent goes to your will, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Okay, I forgot to make a couple of announcements. Number one is the Annie Armstrong Easter offering. It's for the North American missions. The envelopes are in the back, and Helen will help you if she needs any help there about the missions and the money that's collected and what to use it for. And then our other announcement is the Walk of Life. It's Mary Beth's walking that she does for this clinic that saves lives, so that women will decide not to have an abortion. Every year she collects money, and it's in 6 locations that you can walk. There's Bayonnet High School track, Dauphin Village Point Park, Fairhope Founders Park, Foley Max Griffin Park, Gulf Shores Johnny Simons Park, and Loxley Multiple Park. That is on March 15th from 7:30 to 10 in the morning. And they also have a medical center served in Baldwin County for Baldwin, Fairhope, and Gulf Shores, and Robertsdale. Should make to see her this week or today. You don't have to give her the money today. You can just write down how much you'd like to donate for this program that she's going to walk. And last year, it saved 413 babies' lives from not ladies having an abortion, just for this walking at different times that they help at these different places. Now, last time I was here, I walked down the pulpit and not stayed up here. So I'm going to come down off the pulpit again, because last time I came close to falling off. So I don't want to do this, and I don't want to press my luck. I didn't do it last time, so I'm coming off the platform. This week was an exciting week. I dropped my wife off at the airport on Tuesday for her to go to see her granddaughter play ice hockey. She's in a professional Golden Knights of Las Vegas. This week is her tournament. They won the first 4 games and lost the last game by 1 on a shootout. So the season is over with. My wife never seen her play hockey before. So I dropped her off the airport on Tuesday. It's right outside of Las Vegas in Henderson. So I dropped her off. Everything was good. Till Wednesday, and she called me, she has the flu. And she was supposed to fly back Friday. Now her plan is to come back on Tuesday. I talked to her yesterday, and she's perfectly fine. This morning, she's totally sick again. I don't want to say this, but I don't want her to go home, to come home. Stay away from me. It's better for you to stay down back there till this is all cleared up. So I've had all week of being by myself. I've been all week of running into problems that I didn't know I was going to have, and it's not a problem. Wednesday, I was notified that I would be teaching Sunday school lesson. I read it 10 times, and I hope I did okay job. It was a little difficult this morning, but I appreciate everyone that comes on Sunday morning and for Sunday school. Now, on Wednesday, we have a regular prayer meeting, and my sermon today is on prayer. You have to have prayer. I don't know how else to explain it. In my lifetime, there's been many problems I've had that I wouldn't have made it without prayer. I wouldn't have made it without all of you, because I don't know you then, but I can tell by this group that you do pray. I understand, like I said, I don't know you, but I'm getting to know you. I've almost been here a year, I think. Mary Beth would know if it's almost a year. So I've been there this long. Sometimes you don't understand why your prayer isn't answered. I've often wondered that myself, thinking, okay, I want to pray for this person, and I still don't see him in church. And I've prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, and it still hasn't come about. Maybe it's the way I pray. Maybe there's a certain way in which you should pray. I know in Luke 11, 1 through 5, tells exactly how you should pray. And sometimes it just doesn't, I don't want to say it hasn't been answered, but God has answered it, but not in your request. Sometimes you can pray for someone, they're deathly sick, someone's dying, you want to save them, but it's not in God's plan. So he knows exactly what it is. Sometimes God puts you through things that you can't handle, but you can. Years later, you realized, I made it. I did survive. You did help me through it, because of families like you who've prayed, families like that helped me have prayed, and it's got me through some times. Prayer is more important than anything. I passed this church 3 times and didn't come in because it was a Sunday morning or a Sunday night or a Wednesday night and nobody was here because I came at a wrong time. I came for Wednesday night service, was supposed to be 7 o'clock where I came from. Here it's 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock at different times. So when I drive by, you weren't here. So I'm thinking the church is closed. And then I came for a Sunday night service, and our Sunday night service is 7 o'clock. So when I drove by, again, nobody's here. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to drive by one more time, just see what it's like. Maybe it'll be right this time. I finally got it right. I walked in, and it was a church I've been to. I've been down here 7 churches. I walked in, and most churches, when you walk through the door, usually you go and sit yourself, or someone sits you for yourself where you're going to sit. I have a thing where I sit up front. I have always sat up front. Usually I sit right here on that side. And it's because it's closer for me to get to the platform if someone wants to be saved or someone wants to be led to the Lord, or I need to help the pastor when he has too many people up there. Sometimes it happens that way. You have more than 1 or 2 and you need someone to step in. So that's where I got used to that. One church I went to, the guy said, "Oh, the pastor's going to love you." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because everybody sits back here and I sit way up here." So I went to that for a while. And different times in your life, you don't know what's going to come in your life. Sometimes you lose family. Sometimes you don't know why. I know some of you had heard this story. My sister lost her daughter with a hole in her heart. It was hard. I went to the house and my sister was sitting in a chair all by herself. She was by herself. She had lost her just daughter, her second daughter, not to die, but this one had died from the operation. I didn't know what to say. How many times you go to a funeral, you don't know what to say? But I've learned one thing, when you go to a funeral, that's all they want is you, to see you help them. And no matter you say, they enjoy that you've come to the funeral for them. And my sister really enjoyed that part where they did back her up and helped her through this time. I lost my mother with Alzheimer's. She was 73 years old. I'm 72 years old, and every day I look at 73. Because am I going to go that way? Am I going to forget where I'm at? Am I forgetting where I'm going to go? Last month I went to the doctor, couldn't find the doctor's office. I got lost. I called the doctor's office and they said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Well, I'm lost." And they said, "Where are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm in the parking lot of Winn-Dixie in Fairhope, or Daphne, whatever that is." And the reception said, "I don't know where you are." Well, how could you not know where I am if I'm in the same place where the building's supposed to be and I'm not there? She says, "Well, I don't live here. I just work here." So I said, okay. So I had to cancel my appointment and went back home. And I thought myself again, I'm getting too close to 73. What's going to happen? Am I going to lose where I'm going to go? Am I going to go out and look for the car, as some people do, get out in the parking lot and realize they don't know where your car is? I'm always afraid of where I'm going to be and who's going to help me if I lose my way. My mother had a thing about her. She was from Kentucky. I was born in Kentucky. And she was a loving Southern belle, as you want to call it, of a lady. She never outspoke ever rude things to anybody. When she turned 73 and I went to see her at her house, and her first reaction to me was, "I hate you." I told her, "I love you." She said, "Well, I still hate you." It was hard. I finally realized that she's there, but she's not there. I loved her just as much if she had it or not had it. She died about 2 years later. It was a hard funeral. But my father was impressed with every family that came to the church. They were outside the door, down the hall, lots of people showed up. My father has never gone to church, never has, never will, and he died 2 years ago. My mother used to wave her Bible in front of him and say, you need this word. He never needed it. He never needed God. But he was impressed with all the people because he didn't think my mom was just someone who went in, sat down, and went back home. People loved her there, just like people love you here. You know, sometimes in life we really just can't handle it. And this, I'm going to tell you something that I haven't never told anybody. One day I got in the car and I drove. I got in the parking lot, nobody was around. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. And I screamed. And I beat on the car door as much as I could. And I told God I hated him. I was been through too much stuff. I couldn't handle this no more. I've been in religion all my life, always believed in God, was brought into church. My mother was pregnant. I couldn't handle this anymore. I'm sorry, I couldn't. There was too much that was just going on. I just couldn't handle it. I gave up. And I took a walk. And I said, I'll never come back. I'm not coming back to someone who can't answer a prayer, who makes my life as miserable as this. My only problem was, he didn't go away. He didn't move. I moved. I came back to God. I realized I was wrong. I didn't hate him anymore. And I've learned from that on, I tell him every time I pray, I love you. My mother never told me she loved me as it got older, but I loved her. He loves me. He loves you. I don't care what it is in your life. It's a terrible life sometimes. And God will get you through it. Maybe not today. Maybe a week from now. Maybe a month from now. He will answer your prayers. You just got to remember, you turn it over to God for him to understand that you're asking for a request, please, and turn it over to him and leave it there. Some people think 2 weeks, I'm going to go for 2 weeks. If he ain't done with me by 2 weeks, I give up. I've never given up since then. Anytime the pastor asks me to come preach, I will. Anytime someone wants me to come see them, I will. If anybody needs anything at the hospital, I will be there. I was a deacon of the church for lots of years. I've had about 17 pastors or so, 15 pastors in my lifetime. And one day, I met the pastor of my life. Sometimes you have pastors in the church and you like this person, you like that pastor, you like this pastor, you like this pastor. I had a pastor come from Mississippi, a country boy, never been to the big city. He came up there and we had about 100 people in church. He came, brought up his family. He had a son and a daughter. And the first thing he told me was, we're going to not really raise the roof off, but we're going to increase the attendance. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy's from Mississippi. What does he know about big country, big state, big people, big churches? We only had 100. It took him about 2 years, and we had 400 in 2 years. And why we did have that many was because he was also a pastor. He was also my friend, and he also needed my help. He had a son that was 15 years old, yanked him out of his school, came up here with his daughter and the wife, and they were lost. They didn't know anything. He came up to me and said, can you help my son? Can you be friends with him? Can you do anything with him so we can be comfortable with him being here? I said, okay, we did. I tried. He stayed lots of years. One Wednesday night, prayer meeting was stopped on Wednesday. We went to a Thursday prayer meeting. So Wednesday, I would go out calling with him. So we went calling one time, and I don't know if you know this, but I lived in Indiana, about 35 miles away from Chicago, and there's a town called Gary, Indiana. the murder capital of the world. I couldn't get over that day. We went calling. And I was probably 20, 21 years old. And we went into Gary. And I started panicking. I'm thinking, I don't want to be here. Where are you going, Pastor? We're going to go see this guy. He wants to go see his mother, and I bought him his bus ticket to go home. I said, okay. We parked the car. Cars all burned up. Cars tore up. Building's empty. The whole mess. We go into the apartment. The lights are flickering. I'm panicking. I can't believe you, Pastor. Why are you bringing me in this area? Why would you do this? He says, I promised this guy I would get him home to his mother. So I was thrilled to get out of there. He delivered the ticket right to the guy. He said, now I want you to go see your mother. If you want to come back, that's fine. You don't have to pay me for the ticket. That's fine. I just want you to tell me you're going to go see her. And he says, I will go see her. He did go see the mother. The next time I was with the pastor, I went to his pastor's house, and he wasn't there. And I asked his wife, I said, where's the pastor at? He said, well, he's in the back. He's working on the bus. And I'm thinking, why would a pastor work on a bus? It's not his job. Should someone else be doing that job? I go out there, and he crawls out from changing the oil. There was oil everywhere on this guy. He knew how to change oil, but just didn't know how to keep it off him. So he changed the oil and everything. He says, attendance going up? And I said, yeah, it's been going up, 20 people, 15 people. It keeps going up. He said, well, good, we're doing good. So a couple months went by, and I went to his house again, and I asked his wife, where's the pastor? He's at the church. I said, okay. I go to church, and I walk in. The church was, held more than 400 people. I walked in, and as I walked in, I started walking in, and I started walking in. No one was in there. I couldn't figure out, where is he? Finally, I understood where he was. He was in the pew. He had a habit of praying at each pew for each family. I've never seen a pastor do that. Every pew. I was quiet. I didn't want to disturb him. And he kept, each pew, kept walking to it and praying for that family. I'm thinking, this guy, I've never seen that before. Why would any pastor do that? I understand why now. 400 people came in to join the church because he prayed. He prayed for this family. He prayed for this family. He prayed for this family. And on and on and on. There we had 4 sections of pews all the way across and all the way back. He prayed, and he prayed, and he prayed. He had a habit of he did things that was a little different for me. When I got married, he wouldn't marry you unless he talked to you. He wouldn't marry your wife till he talked to your wife. And then at the end, he'd talk to you together, and then he would marry you. He would never meet anyone in the church if you're a female. He would have to have somebody with him. He never did it where it would cause a problem. He was always there to make it right. So he always did that. That was my favorite pastor. Because I seen a man who loved God. He loved every person in every pew. He made sure that he was going to pray for him. He didn't care how long he stayed on his knees. I stay on my knees. You have to. I prayed so many times, get on my knees and prayed, and it got answers. Sometimes it didn't, but I know why eventually. Every day I have a routine in my life. I get up, I eat a bowl of Cheerios. This week it's strawberry banana. They have 33 flavors of Cheerios. I'm working on them. I'll probably have them all ate pretty soon. I drink pomegranate juice and I get cranberry juice. I don't drink pop. I do all that to keep healthy. I walk 6 miles a day. And I do it every morning at about 15 to 7. I hear the bus go by and I go for a walk. Me and Jesus have a nice talking the whole time I'm walking. I sing, I talk, I listen, I pray. If you ever see me, don't think I'm crazy, because I'm talking to him. I have to every day. At night, I do the same thing. 8:30 at night, my wife goes to bed. My little dog, he runs the house. It's time for him to go to bed at 8:30. So my wife goes to bed, takes her dog with her, and I go in one of my bedrooms and read and prepare for things that I need to prepare for and pray. This Wednesday, I told I was being a Sunday school teacher. Thursday, I was told I was going to preach this morning. I got here and she told me I was going to help to sing. I haven't sung in a while. I used to sing regularly. I've won awards for singing. It may not sound like it today, but I have won awards in the state of Indiana for singing. I've had a good life, but I want to make sure everybody else has a good life. I want to tell you, like I told others, I love this church. I love the people in the church. I love the people that I can look to, because I do look at you and realize you're praying for me. I do pray for you. On Wednesday night, we have a prayer list about this long. I don't know these people. I don't know when you walk in. Sometimes I have to ask the people who you are. It's like Helen over here. Sometimes I say a different word for Betty over here. I asked Mary Beth one time what her name is, because I thought, okay, that's just her name, not her whole name. So I finally realized what that was. I keep trying to remember. Carol, I can remember. I don't know why I can remember her name. Some names I don't. I don't know your name. I have no idea, but I know you're an Alabama fan. I do know that. And when I came down, I was told I'm an Alabama fan. My next door neighbor was Auburn. I didn't know Alabama was the going thing down here for football, but I see you come in with your sweaters on and shoes and stuff like that, so I know you're an Alabama fan. I don't know the rest of you really good. I'll get to know you. But I also want to tell you the same thing that I've told other people. If you need my help, I don't mind coming. I was sent to the hospital different times because the pastor got so many pastors, so many people in church, he couldn't visit them all. We had to split up the church for different deacons. So I had a list. I'd go to the hospital and visit everyone, and then I had a list of people that was on my deacon list. I love to eat. I really love biscuits and gravy, so I do pretty good down here. I love pineapple upside down cake. I love pecan pie. I love a lot of stuff. I have a lady that's from West Virginia that came to join our church, and I got to know that she loves what I like to eat. So I made sure every Saturday that I went calling, I went to her house first. I had breakfast every Saturday. I had no problem visiting her every Saturday. Her husband was the custodian of the church, and it was good to have her there. I know this day she's always prayed for us. She'll continue to pray for us. I haven't talked to her in a while. I know she's getting up in age. But again, I want to tell you the pastor and I and Mark is willing to help any way we can, and anything that needs to be done here, anything that can make it grow. We need Sunday school classes. We need teachers. We need a lot. But I have a big God. He can answer lots of prayers. So, as time goes on, you keep wondering what's next. Keep wondering what we should do. I invite you again to come to prayer meeting on Wednesday. Because there we get to learn more about you. Besides praying for different people while you're here, while you're there on Wednesdays, we know what to do on that. I fast a lot. I don't know if you've ever fasted. That's when, in my case, is when you don't eat. And when you don't eat, you take the time to read the Bible, study the Bible. I tried it many a times. 1 day, 2 days. I tried 2 days to not eat, and I made it 2 days. I prayed, sang, whatever I needed to do just to get through those 2 days. Again, I want to tell you, just like I tell God every night, every morning, I love him. I don't know what I would do without him. It's just, once you fall in love with Jesus, you'll never turn back. He never moves from where he was. He's still there. There's times in your life you might need help. If I can't find the help for you, I will get the help for you. If it needs to be a lady to talk to you, I'll find a lady to talk to you. If it's a husband who needs to talk to me, send him on. If it needs something that needs to be done, Mark and the pastor, Gary, we're all here to fill these pews. We're only here to get you to heaven. So I know I'm running short. My clock up here says it's 11:35. Last time I preached, the clock was wrong. The pastor didn't set it. It was backwards or forwards. I don't know which way it was, but every time I looked at that clock, I'm thinking, oh, geez, I'm talking too slow. I need to speed up. I need to do it where I can get the service the way it is. So I'd like to think about it this week while you're at home, while you're at work. Pray to God. He's always there. I don't know how much more to express it that way. He's there in bad times, good times. He's there. I hope I helped you today. I know God helped me. I had my daughters call me today and tell me, Dad, you'll do good. You've always done good. I presented to you what needs to be had. If you're not saved, do something about it. If you're not saved and you need to talk to me, let me know. If you need to see someone else, let me know. Thank you for letting me preach today. I hope it helped you in any way. The hymn is 305. Thank you again for coming out. See you on Wednesday, hopefully. And next Sunday, Pastor will be back by then, hopefully, and his wife will be better, and my wife will be better, and everyone that's sick will be better, and Jerry will be back, not soon, but with his heart surgery. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. You're dismissed.